Good evening. Can we have Mr. Putman and Mr. Salisbury over here? And coaches, I'll have you here, please. We're so glad to have you. Thank you for your commitment to your children tonight. Before we get started, the guys have picked a little video that I'd like you to watch. Can we just watch that for just a moment? Drop the house. Volume.
It's hard for anyone to understand.
It's hard for any parent, any teacher,
any friend, any fan,
any outsider, to understand the level of commitment it takes to get here.
the amount of hard work,
the countless hours of practice, the time in the weight room,
studying film, the summer workouts,
knowing your opponent,
going to class,
being a good role model.
I wonder if they know how hard it really is.
That's why you do it.
I guess that's why Coach always says,
if it were easy, everyone would do it.
So that's why you do it.
It just makes the victory that much sweeter.
Thing is, only those guys around you,
your teammates, your coaches.
Those are the only ones who understand that.
Those are the only ones that understand the game.
That understand every bruise, every twist, every rip, every tear.
the frustration,
The tears of joy.
And the tears of pain.
So you endure the pressures, you endure the punishments.
You do it for your family. You do it for your friends.
your teachers, your fans.
Your critics.
You do it to show them what you're made of.
How tough you really are,
You do it for your team because you owe it to them.
because that's what they deserve.
You have trained your whole life for this.
There's only one thing left.
Let's do it.
That's how we do it at Harvest. You know, the boys, MJ, one time I was going through the laundry and I found this shirt. And MJ, are you in here? Could you stand up for just a minute? And it says, there is no off season. Could you turn around? And I started thinking about that statement, that there is no off season. And for my son, sports, football is his life, that he eats, sleeps, and drinks sports. I've never had to wake him up one time for a 6 a.m. practice, ever. School, different story. But football practice, never. And you can't imagine how glad I was when he started to drive. And I didn't have to drive him to those 6 a.m. practices. So I honor his commitment to that. But at Harvest, it's more than that. And I begin to think, you know, since I became a parent, I have not had an off season. Since I got married, I've not had an off season. It's been full-time working at everything that builds our family, builds our home, builds this business, my career. Since the day I entered college, I've not had an off season. And so I stand correction to Nike. It's not just in sports that there's no off season. In life, there's no off season. And we are training our young men, women here at Harvest that life is a full-time commitment from now until forever. I'm raising an 18-year-old that God blessed me to have as an adopted son, and it's been quite a challenge to impart to him the importance that life has already started for you, son. It is already on. It is already full-time. It is right in your face, and we are on it right here, right now. Till death do us part, you're on it. And that's what we want for Harvest Prep students. We want them to know that not just in sports, but in academics. As a matter of fact, I had a hard sell for Dr. Ibarra to sell me on sports because my family was all about academics. But when I saw how hard our children work at their academics so that they can play athletics, I began committed to athletics. And here at Harvest, we're doing things differently this year, and that's why we have this meeting, and we're so excited that you're here. And a few months ago, I came across an organization that, I don't know, it was through Facebook. I couldn't remember today when he asked me, but it was a recruiting organization. It's called NCSA. And, you know, MJ's so committed to what he's doing that, you know, as a parent, you want to be equally as committed to what they're doing. So I called these people up. I had them, they got on a conference call with Dr. Ibarra and I, and we began to work together for recruiters. And, you know, one thing that the gentleman said to me that I think gave MJ and I and Dr. Ibarra a real straight-in-your-face revelation was he said, the NFL stands for not for long. And there's some NFL former players here that will tell you that, would probably agree with that. And that really got to Dr. and I and MJ, and he said, but let me tell you this. He said, why not go ahead and get a recruiter going for your son so that when he does go to college, wherever he goes, he can play ball. And he can enjoy his experience in college doing what he loves to do, whether it takes him to the NFL or not. It'll take him through college and see where he goes from there. And he said, and that one conversation changed not only our lives, it changed MJ's life. From that point forward, MJ made AB honor roll because he heard somebody tell him that his academics were as important as his athletics. And that's why we brought this gentleman in today from NCSA, and we brought in Mr. Salisbury, who I'll be introducing later. But we brought him in so that you can understand the process of recruiting, so that you can be educated as parents on what it's going to take eligibility-wise, whether athletics or academics, what it's going to take to get your child maybe where they want to go, and it's maybe get them a full ride to college, whether it's through their academics or through economics, whichever way possible. Let them go to school, and not only go to school, but have fun at it. So I want to introduce to you Mr. Paul Putnam from NCSA. Got MJ's profile up there with NCSA right now so that you can see. It's his picture, it's all his academics, it's all his times, his bench press, his leg presses, all those types of things that he's done here. And there's already schools that there's talking to, and so I want you to come see him. He's going to be right up here right after the meeting, and you can have a conversation with him and turn in those profiles so that he can get you set up. I think it'll be well worth your time and your effort. Right. Any sport, women's, men's. All right, well, that's awesome. And the next speaker that we have tonight has really become dear to our heart, Mr. Salisbury. And MJ came to me, I don't know, 90, 120 days ago, and he got up one morning and he came into my bedroom and he said, Mom.
Deb, don't forget to announce that if there's students here that don't have parents, grandparents or guardians, that we'll be happy to submit that for them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Anyway, he came into my bedroom, I don't know, quite some time ago, and he said, Mom, I had a dream. And I said, you did? And he's a very spiritual child. And I said, well, what was it about? And he said, Mom, I had a private quarterback coach. And I went, unholy cow. You know, I told you I'm not the sports gal in our family. Okay, we don't have any form of reference for this in my family. And but I've learned from Dr. Ibarra, these visionary types, that you just go, okay, that's a good idea. We're going to see how that's going to come together. I'm with you on that. Okay, son, we'll hook up on you on that. Well, a few months later, through NCSA, we went to a football university in Escondido, California. I just felt led that some of our boys should go there. And while he was there, he was throwing. He's just a one-year quarterback. And he was throwing and having some time. And this gentleman came up to him and said, hey, listen, if you'll go back and talk to, your coaches, I'd be happy to coach you privately. So it not only benefited MJ, it benefited all the quarterbacks on our team, all of our upcoming quarterbacks. And today he was on the field with the entire team, encouraging our team, because we want these guys to understand, like we said, it's not just about, there's no off season in sports, there's no off season in life. And as you heard today, there is definitely no off season in academics. No matter what you're doing, it's on full bore all the time. And we are so grateful to have Mr. Salisbury with us and helping our team. We just want you to give him a big harvest welcome.
I don't need it. I think they got me here. I'm not a mic guy either, Paulie. I'm with you. I may blow the top of the roof off, but we're thinking the same line. I think everybody can hear me. To the Ibarras, God bless you. Thank you. Let me move this down. You guys okay with this? I'll try not to raise my voice too much. Bless you for having me. Thank you, Joe, for bringing me here. to the coaching staff for the, for the opportunity to be a part of it. I'm honored. I can tell you, Paul, you mentioned it. There's no school that I've ever been to, and I train quarterbacks all over the United States right now in about 12 or 14 different states, and no school's done this. So you're very blessed to have a couple people at the head of this school as far as leadership goes that are making sure these kids are a priority. As Paul mentioned, and it's amazing how much time we talked and all the effort he gave you talking about recruiting. About 85 to 90% of it was spent on academics. I'm in the truth-telling business. Yes, sir.
If you don't mind, you know what? This gentleman deserves a standing applause for being here. He's a former Seattle Seahawks NFL player, Indianapolis coach, Minnesota Vikings, San Diego Chargers, Houston Oilers, national football player. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and give him a round of applause.
Thank you.
I mean, come on. I mean, this is something that doesn't happen every day in this city.
Thank you.
And so, sir, thank you so much.
I'm
I just
honored,
think you
Doctor.
deserve that. I'm honored, sir.
Thank you,
sir.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
I'm not going to get many of those. I'm not even a household name when I go see my mom. So, are you the son that doesn't call me enough? Doctor, thank you. I'll get to a little bit of a bio. I don't want to bore you guys with that. I'm here to talk about success and hard work and to let you guys try to soak it in and get out. But I can tell you that the academic part, I'm in the truth-telling business, and I think the Ibarras, as you listen to them, are the same way in the difference they're making at this school. You heard Paul talk. I'm in the same line. I'm just going to tell it like it is. I'm going to tell you athletes this that are sitting over here. If you don't, and parents hear me out, and you young kids hear me out, if you don't go to school and make that your number one priority, you have no shot. That doesn't mean your parents who went the hard road. Some of them didn't get educated. My dad didn't graduate and carved a life for himself. But times have changed. Like everything, we got to change. Academic standards have changed. The character we look at, these recruiters, and one, Paul will tell you this too, and I'll tell you this. If you're on Facebook making comments or Twitter, stuff that you shouldn't do, they no longer just go talk to your counselor or your coach. Most every university in this country has a person who follows you on Twitter to find out what you're saying on Facebook. So go ahead and post something stupid about your girlfriend or your mom, or drop a few F-bombs on there and watch how quickly a recruiter says, nope, I'm not recruiting him. That's not what I want in my program. They'll cut you off as fast as you can shake your head. So that's another level in this whole character thing. No school, no shot. Simple. So we can start right there. That's where the success is. In football, and I'm here and honored to be here. This is my third trip here, and I've never been to a school 3 times in my entire life, and I'll come back 100 more because I love your kids, and I think they know that. I love them. And I'm getting a chance to see them and the improvement. I had nothing like it. And they know it. I kick them in the rear end and then hug them at the same time. I kick them in the rear end and then I hug them so the parents don't come get mad at me. But I do love these guys. We eat together, we laugh together, we chew each other out. I learn new handshakes. I mean, I'm in here. I'm big in Yuma now. But parents, I can't thank you enough. And athletes, I want you to hear this. Parents, what you don't know and what nobody outside of a locker room knows is that what goes on in there and the hard work and effort, embarrassment, sweat, tears, nervous and scared, success, you don't know and you never will. I remember my head coach, Dennis Green, in Minnesota. Was able to play professional football for 10 years. Guys, just to echo what Paul's saying, you realize I played pro football for 10 years. When I quit playing, I was 32 years old. What am I going to do with the rest of my life? If you're having an extraordinary career, you play till you're 35, and that's the Peyton Mannings of the world. How many of those guys are there? Dennis Green told me, he told us all, he hated it when some guy wouldn't put his name on an interview. A source in the locker room said he hated it when a teammate would sell out another teammate. He hated it. And he stood in that locker room and he said, those people outside our locker room don't know what's going on in here, and they never will. That's not to say we don't come home and share with you. He's talking about the guts and hard work and pressure it takes. And Mrs. Ibarra, you hit it perfect. There is no off season. You should make t-shirts of it. There is none. So when I speak tonight about football and sports, football is life. The closest parallel that I've ever been a part of to my life, adversity, good, success, not success, failures, laughs, tears, hurt, injury, is football and life are parallel. They go hand in hand. They are hand in hand every day. Every day you get kicked in the teeth. Every day you got to pick yourself up and get some more. That's what's great about being a football player. It's not a natural sport to come in here and play this, getting your brains beat in every single day. These kids coming out here, all their other buddies, guess what they're doing? They were playing Xbox today when we were out practicing at 108 degrees. I know you get mad at them, they didn't do the chores. They're out twice today in 108 degrees practicing. There's 2 other schools or 3 other schools or 5 other schools around here. Those kids weren't doing what they were doing. So parents, I know they're hard on you and they're punk little teenagers. I'm still a punk 50-year-old, and I mean that with affection. I got news for you. They're doing good. So while I don't tell you how to raise your kids, please be there for them. You don't know how much it means when they come home. It makes me emotional because I have great family. I lost my father. God, what I'd give to have 5 more minutes with him. But man, even though they got stuff to do, applaud them for the effort they're making. Applaud them. They could be on the doggone streets. They could have been on the street smoking a joint behind some fast food joint today. They could have. You may not want to hear that, but that's fact because a whole bunch of other schools are doing it. They could have. Could have been in a car with a drunk buddy driving through an intersection. And God forbid anybody in here has lost somebody like that because I know I have. But they're doing it and they're doing it good. And I'm so doggone proud of you guys, it's unbelievable. I'm so honored to be here. But I can tell you that in order to be good, in order to be success, Paul mentioned it, I mentioned it, got to have options, guys. Got to have options. I'll even take it one step further. Let's just say Division I, Division II, Division III, they're not giving scholarships, they're giving let's just say Division I, Division II scholarships for football. Let's say just for the quarterback position itself. Let's say 125 Division I schools, just for talking's sake. It's not much more than that. If every school every year is going to give 1 scholarship, just one, to a quarterback, that's 125. I can find 125 quarterbacks in a 15-mile radius, 15 square miles. So I'm talking to you guys, MJ, anybody else. How tough is that? I'm just giving you the harsh reality. And if somebody's lucky enough to give 2, if they all gave 2, that's only 250 Division I scholarships. Think how many schools across the country and people that are battling for that job. And then Division II, so it goes on. This is not easy. And like I said, football's not natural. Getting your brains beat in. You pick yourself up, and you take 10, 20 seconds off, and you get back in the huddle, and you get yourself some more. And you get back up, and you get yourself some more, 70 times a day. Every single Friday or Wednesday or Thursday, whenever the games are. In life, you get knocked in the face, have one good day, pick up a paycheck, come back the next day, boom, get yourself knocked down. The boss is all over you. Get hit in the mouth, what do you got to do, parents? And kids, you got to respect your parents too. They got to get up and support you and get themselves some more. That's why this is the toughest sport in the world to play. Get your brains beat in. If you don't complete 70% of your balls as a high school quarterback, they're booing you, asking for the next guy. And parents, if ever you think when you're criticizing somebody else's kid or your own son and it's hard on them, go stand by your water cooler. Let your son get a head start with your back turned while you're at work, and let him hit you 15 times in the back, and then make you go back and do whatever job, whether it's numbers, a lawyer, a doctor, go back and operate on a knee after he got done banging you in the back 15 times. And tell me that this is easy to do. It's not. So I applaud you both for the dedication. Now the hard work it takes to get there. I'm going to get off here as quickly as I can. And as I've said to these kids, and I'm trying to, this is something I've never said in here tonight, but this statement I have, not everyone's getting a trophy. Everyone doesn't get a trophy anymore. Those days are over. You know what? I'm glad. We've created in some science and society a little wussification. Ooh, man, every third grader gets a trophy. Really? I'm sorry if somebody disagrees with me. Everybody doesn't get a trophy in life. If you're not good enough to get into the school, if I got 2 kids, one's a 4.0, the other's a 4.0. One's great in the community service, one isn't. One's never been in trouble, one has. And they all want to get in the same school, and there's one scholarship left. Who do you think I'm giving it to? I'm going to give it to the one that, on the pro and con list, the one who's got more pros, correct? Now, I'm all about giving people chances. I run a scholarship foundation that we want the guy who made a D or an F as a freshman and then became a 3.2 student and went through a tough, losing a family, went through adversity, boom, and found a way to get themselves back. They picked themselves up, and they got themselves some more. And that's how you become successful. People, and like I said, I could talk about this forever. But for me, with football being life, we always have these 7, 8 steps to success. And a lot of for me, in order to succeed at life and be a winner, there's just 6 little steps for me that spell out winner. 6 little steps. 1, the W. Work twice as hard as everybody else. Talking to football, I'm talking to work twice as hard as everybody else. If he's put an hour in, got to put 2 hours in. I tell these kids when I coach, I don't coach okay. I don't coach good. I'm coaching to be great. I don't want to be good. Everybody can be good. Anybody can be okay. Play to be great, coach to be great. The W, work twice as hard as everybody else. The I in winner, invest time in your teammates. For parents, invest time in your coworkers. What do I mean by that? You'll have a lot of success if you could care less who gets the credit for it. And in football, unselfish teams win championships. I can assure you the 2 best teams in the National Football League were in the Super Bowl last year, the 49ers and Ravens, and the team that hung in there the best and longest and stayed the course and withstood all the punishment and the talk all year long, they're the ones who won. You think Ray Lewis was invested in Joe Flacco last year? I'll bet he was. You think Nick Saban is invested in his quarterback at Alabama? You think it's a mystery that they've won 2 national titles and he's won 3 or so in the last 4 years? It's not a mystery. Invest in your teammates. And guys, that means take care of your buddy. Take care of your buddy. Let me make sure I spell right. No, I'm just kidding. The first N is never be an I confess he did it. Anybody know what that means? I confess he did it. Don't be the I confess it was his fault. After the game on a Friday night, I confess it was coach's fault. Quarterbacks, don't ever let me hear you blame it on somebody else. You got the ball in your hand. Coach calls a play, and MJ, one of my favorite things about you is your love to compete and your love to take the blame for when something goes wrong and fix it. Never be one of those, I confess it's somebody else's fault guy. Don't be that guy. The other end, never believe the hype. Good or bad. Trust me, none of us are as good as we think we are when we look in the mirror. I look in the mirror and somebody may be looking at me like I'm a big old cow, and I look at it and I see a monster, big old stud, or the kitty cat and it's a big lion. Don't believe the hype. And along with that, don't believe the bad hype. People are going to talk bad about you. People are going to talk good about you. Look in that mirror and just believe what you see and fix it. Don't believe the hype, good or bad. One of the biggest problems in life, one of the things that thwarted my career a little bit, is I got affected by it, good and bad, early. Fortunately, I had a good dad and some good coaches along the way to help me fix it. We're all going to hit rock bottom, and whatever your rock bottom is, how are you going to fix it? You know what you're going to do? You're going to pick yourself up and go get yourself some more, as we all do. So never believe the hype. 5, parents, excellence is enough. You're not going to get perfection on a football field. I still have yet to see the perfect game played. Played it 10 years, been fortunate to be a broadcaster on television for ESPN and Fox, and for 15 years as a national TV broadcaster. Heck, I've been in movies with Adam Sandler, as these guys know, in the Benchwarmers movie, right, guys? And I figure if I could train Adam Sandler in Longest Yard to be a quarterback, I could train anybody. Mrs. Ibarra, you're going to start playing quarterback. I'm going to prove I can train anybody. There. So that part of it, that's a little bit of my bio, but the key here is I tried to strive for excellence. I've never seen a perfect game played. Even Adrian Peterson, as good as he is, or Troy Aikman, or Joe Montana, the perfect game has not been played. But if you strive for perfection and hit excellence, life's going to be pretty good. If you're a C student and you get to B's, God bless you. If you're an A student and you're making C's, got to fix it. Especially when we've already seen the A, you can't go to a C. The C to an A is the type of person we're looking for. Make sure that you strive for perfection, but excellence is enough. Excellent, you're a champion. And finally, rise for the R, rise above the negative. Rise above it. Don't be that guy who allows negative to affect you. Don't be that guy that gets caught up in all the nonsense that goes around. We always hear, think outside the box. Get out of the mud and do your thing, and that's the truth. Rise above the nonsense. Rise above the nonsense. In closing, because I don't want to stay here too long because I would, remember these 5 P's. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. The only way you're going to succeed, proper preparation prevents poor performance, is if you're willing to prepare. And it's not the best team that wins. It's the team that deals with the best with adversity that wins. A lot of times, best team doesn't win. It's a team that deals the best with getting kicked in the teeth, your quarterback's struggling, the running back, Rubens, fumbled 3 times, and now he's going to tell me he never fumbles. Ruff fumbled 3 times. Are you going to pick yourself up in the 4th quarter and fix it? That's how you win. It's never going to be like you think it is on the chalkboard. So in closing, again, remember, not everybody gets a trophy. Take care of your business. And finally, something that I have to get in. Success and life is not built from the outside in. It's built from the inside out. I got a million people who can pass the cosmetic test, the outside look. They can come across and talk it. But when you have the guts in life to keep picking yourself up and getting yourself some more, I assure you, whether you play a down of football beyond here, whether you go on and become a Super Bowl MVP, or whether you're a swimmer or a golfer, or whether you're just a doggone good construction worker, your success is going to be based on the guts and the way you deal with adversity from the inside out, not the outside in. I'm honored. I love you guys. This is going to be a championship season this year because you guys are putting in the work. Thanks for letting me be a part of it.
Come on, ladies and gentlemen, stand up. Give him a round of applause, please. Come on, he deserves it. Yeah, Mr. Salisbury, thank you, sir. Thank you. Awesome job. I tell you, this is quality. This is awesome. Thank you. Thank you again. I can't tell you. You know what? You need to say this, the 5 P's. How many know the 5 P's he talked about? What is it? Oh, come on now. I can't hear you. What is it? All right, one more time. Yell it out.
Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
Oh, I got to hear it louder. Come on.
Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
That's right. So thank you, sir. We get it in one way or another. So, ladies and gentlemen, I had some parents that had to leave, and they gave me this. Listen, I wish that I would have had this when I was a kid. This was not around when I was a high school athlete, and you need to make sure that every parent that leaves this place today that fills this out, because this is once in a lifetime opportunity for you. Your kids will benefit from it immensely. I want to go ahead and quickly transition into our new athletic director for this year. I want to tell you that we've taken a bit of a what can I say, a 360. About 4 years ago when I started this program, about 3 years ago when I started this program, I didn't get my wife couldn't get behind it. She was kind of, on the fence with it. But once I got her on, I tell you, how many of you know that when you get mama on your side, it's a good thing, right? Yeah? Well, I want you to give a hand to Mrs. Ibarra because she's gotten behind this thing. And so she's gotten behind our athletics, and it's taken me a while to convince her that that's a direct correlation with academic achievement. I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that we don't come from a high-end community. If you don't know that this is the highest unemployment rate in the country. We've got 27% or so, 27% unemployment rate. This is a poor community. I'm just going to tell you, this is a poor community. And so when you have poor communities and a poverty community, then that means that we got to reach into what we can find, and that means that we got to find different ways to get out of this environment into the high-end dollars or the high-end type of environments where we can actually succeed. So some of you kids, even though you may be at a low end when it comes to socioeconomic status, some of you are destined for greatness. Some of you can get into these Division III colleges. Do you hear me? Some of you can get into these junior colleges and Division III colleges full ride. Do you have your orange form? You better fill that out and give it to me tonight, even though your mom is not here. Is she here? Yeah. Is she here? Mom, I tell you what, if your parents aren't here, I want to sign off on that for you because you've got to get on this website. Because you can get a full ride to some junior colleges, some Division III colleges, and we got to work at it. and you need support. One of the reasons why our school is a positive impact in the community is because we try to reach out to our parents to make sure. Do you know that the direct correlation is that the parents are actively involved with their child's education? But we have a community that is so disfragmented. There's not a lot of parent support. And I've got to reach out. Do you know how hard it is to get parents to come out to things? It's hard to do that. But I need your mom and dad involved, and I want to make sure that we get you involved in what we need to get to the next level of this athletic program. And Coach L right here is going to come up, and he's going to tell you, he's going to cast the vision. He's going to cast the vision out, not only for football, but for soccer, for potential baseball, for potential other athletics, all kinds of good stuff. We got planned. This high school is busting at the seams. We're going to plan a new high school. We're going to grow a new high school in Yuma. And I need you guys to get out there, get an education, and come back and help me take this school to another level. All right? I need you guys to come back and be teachers and coaches and make sure that we take this high school, and you guys are part of the succession plan. All right? So Coach L, come on up. Give Coach L a round of applause. 2 years with HPA. He's our new athletic director for Harvest Prep this year.
Thank you, Dr. Yubara. I'm 31 years old, and I never in my wildest dreams thought I'd be an athletic director in Yuma, Arizona, following a professional speaker, Sean Salisbury, and a doctor. What am I doing fourth? I don't understand. But anyway, not funny. Sorry. All right. No, I mean I'm absolutely excited about being the athletic director here. I mean, it's the perfect time to take over this job. We are growing. I'm looking to add sports. We're talking about getting new pads, new jerseys. We're bringing in recruiting services. This is the time to be here. This is when we're going to start going up. Couple of things that I'm going to add that we've never done before. Well, one of the things I'm going to add is we're going to start doing community service. I've gotten a hold of the thrift shop and the soup kitchen, and I believe in a couple weeks, Coach T, myself, Coach White, we're going to take the football team down to there, and we're going to do a little work down there. So, Dr. Yubara actually was cutting into some of my stuff. I'm actually looking to add sports. We're looking to add sports, looking to get more fields. Baseball is one of them. Track and field's one of them. Trying to think now. Basketball is one. Volleyball is one. So we're looking to add sports. We know we need sports. Every high school in this area has more than, well, enough. We just don't have enough. More home games. Football has 4 home games. Soccer has, I don't know, probably 5 or 6. Parents, family, you guys can't make it to the away games. Who's going to travel 3 hours? I mean, I know. My parents were there. I had long away games too. They couldn't make it to them. I want more home games. I want you guys to be able to come and see your kids play. Also, better fields. We haven't officially announced this, I guess. The football team knows, we know. But our home football games are actually going to be played in Desert Sun Stadium this year. Not in the other outfield, but in the outfield of Desert Sun Stadium. So we'll have lights, we'll have stands. So it should be a pretty neat atmosphere. I hope you guys, if you have a football player, come out, watch, check out the home games. Another thing that we really need to pick up on here is fundraising. We really need to get the fundraising going, middle school sports, high school sports. We have a couple ideas. Coach T and I have been trying to think outside the box on some of these things. So actually, I'm going to have him come up here. He's the brains of this operation, of the fundraising operation. So I'm going to bring him up, and he can explain what we're going to try and do so your parents can get involved and students can get involved.
Thanks, I'm the brains. All right, good evening, everyone. So just so you're aware, probably by the end of the month, early August, we're going to be getting this card fundraiser. And basically, it's going to be about a $10 to $20 card. And on the back, it's going to basically have coupons that you can use for probably about a year duration at certain local eateries. So you can go maybe to McDonald's and you can get like $1 off or something. So it's going to be something that it's a little bit up front, but if you go to that place enough, okay, those are the places right there. Excuse me. That if you go to any of these places, it'll be worth your while. Okay, if you go there at least probably 4 or 5 times a year, you're going to start saving money. So it's kind of a win-win for both of us. When you participate in this, because you're investing in your kids and in their athletics, as well as in your own financial pocket if you visit these places frequently. There'll be some other fundraisers that we'll get to as the year progresses, as far as I know. What? Yeah. Also, we're looking to finalize a thing with Albertsons. We're waiting to hear back from them still. We sent in some forms, and basically all you have to do, which we're really hoping that it goes through, is all you have to do is you shop there and you scan like a card, and basically 1% of your bill will go into an account for us. So if you spend $100 there, $1 will be set aside from Albertsons into our account, and if you go there enough times, obviously everyone doing it as a school effort, eventually we can rack up a decent amount of money, which then can be sent back into our program. So there'll be more information about that and getting that available. And with these fundraisers, they will provide new equipment for all sports, new weight room stuff, the possibility of getting Huddle, which is this great football program, which also has uses in other sports. So that's really it with the fundraising, I think, for the most part. And before I give it back to Coach L, just real quick, next week for the football team, there's going to be what we call Eagle Boot Camp. And basically, it's going to be about a 5-day venture where the kids will sleep here overnight, and we'll be participating in multiple events, such as Coach L alluded to, was community service, as well as lots of team building activities, practice, and other things to educate them, and weightlifting. So in order to educate them and get them ready for the season. So if you have any questions, you can talk to me afterwards. I'll just stand up here in the front. I'm the guy in the gold polo, if you couldn't tell already. All right. So if you have any questions, thank you very much for your time. So back to Doctor.
Okay. I want to tell you, I'm very fortunate to have Coach Theobald here with us. He's a graduate of Marquette University. He worked actually with the Green Bay Packers for a bit as kind of a stint there out of college, and he had some connections there, but he had some exposure to NFL. So his real big emphasis is weight training. His emphasis in making sure that the kids are very physically well prepared for their season. So please give Coach Theobald a round of applause. Yeah, looking forward to a winning season. I tell you, one of the first things he came to me, and when he took over the job, he goes, Dr. Barr, my goal is to make this the best season and to make this the best program in the conference this year. Yeah. Yeah, that's no low-level goal. That means you guys are going to be champions, right? That means you're going to be champions this year. There's no, second, third, fourth, champions, right? Best program in the state. He said it, so you can do it, right? All right, we're looking forward to it. And then Coach L is going to go ahead and take us to the AIA, which is the AIA conference will be next year when we start competing locally with all the local high schools. A couple things real quick. Future of HPA programs. As you know, we've busted the walls of HPA High School. We need to plan another high school. There's no question about it. We've got to get a grant for a new football field. We went to Whittier College and saw an AstroTurf over there, and I'm actively looking at getting some artificial grass at a new football field that we'd like to establish for our campus in the foothills. I'll just tell you, I'm actively looking for that, and you guys deserve a new high school, and we're going to get it. So next thing is we also have some new uniforms. Yeah, new uniforms. So we got some new gear coming up. Let's take a look at the gear that we got. And this is, yeah. I thought we need to throw some black in there. What do you think, Sean? Maybe some black or something like that. Make it some hot red or, I don't know, something. So we're going to, and then we got the new Zenith pads. The latest in player safety. We got some Zenith pads. Deb, do you have some information on that, on the Zenith pads? Who's got the information on the Zenith pads? Talk about the Zenith pads, because this is latest technology, right?
So the Zenith pads are a newer brand, as you can see, very flashy, but they actually, inside both the shoulder pads and the helmets, they have these shock absorbers, so whenever, the larger the contact, the more that the pads absorb. So little contacts, you feel a little bit, but if it's like a huge hit, that will absorb the majority of anything that hits your kid. So it's really safe in comparison. I think the study was, I don't know if it was, I think it was around 50 or 60% it decreased concussions, which was pretty remarkable. They did it over a 3-year study, NFL, collegiate, and high school level. So they're still, getting into it more, but it's a very innovative and new sort of technology.
Yeah, no injuries. No injuries this year. How about that, guys? No injuries? No injuries on our side. How about the other side? No. Hold on to that mic, because I want you to talk a little bit about the huddle program. We need to get out some. We need to throw out a fundraiser tonight. If you would, you know how much, parents, this takes money, and we've got to find the money to pay for this. We need boosters. We have a booster table in the corner over there. We need you to sign up. If you know a business or you're part of a business, if you work for an organization that can help us with our athletic program, we need you to sign up in that table back there. Also, we have a commitment form table over here in this side over here where we need you to sign up for a commitment, at least if you could, for a month, $5, $10 a month to help get our program off the ground. I mean, you can go spend, $5 at a Starbucks. Please, think about us before you go to the Starbucks, or when you go to the Starbucks, think about giving us $5 or $10 a month to the sports program. Also, you have your income tax returns, which is what is that called? The Arizona tax credit. In November, you can actually denote $250 over of your taxes, $500 for couples. You want to talk about that a little bit? No, I'll let Mrs. Ibarra, because she's the finance gal over here. You can actually, on your tax return, there's a place where you can, Arizona tax credit, where you can denote Harvest Prep Sports.
You can give it, I like to put it this way. It's one program for the first time where you can actually tell the Arizona state government where you want your taxes to go. And so you get a tax deduction as a single person. I believe it's $250 or $275 now, but we'll have more information at open house for you. And then you just go in and you lower your tax amount, a certain amount, and you give that to the school. And then when it comes to tax time, you've made your donation. You're able to take that direct deduction right off, dollar for dollar, whatever the limit is. And I believe it's 500 something for couples. So you're getting to tell Arizona state government, this is where we want our money to go to our school. So it's a wonderful way to contribute. And we're hoping all of our parents, I've calculated, I believe it's upwards to $60,000 if all of our parents contributed. So it would just the minimum. So it would just be a wonderful way for us to grow. And also there's a packet, in your packet there's a donation form or a marketing that you can sell advertisement. If you know people who want to advertise, that's in your packet. How many of you know that Twinkies came back out today? Mrs. Ibarra is putting together a fried Twinkie truck. Yeah, you're going to get to follow my food truck on Twitter. And so we're going to try to, get everybody in Yuma overweight or something. I don't know what we're going to do, but we've been testing our formula, and we've got fried Oreos, fried Snickers, and this week we'll have fried Twinkies down, and we're going to hit the road. So hopefully that's going to raise a lot of money.
Hey, anything to make money, right? Anything to get money in our program. We won't count the fat calories or whatever. Those, but hey, listen, those are great. I heard they're making a lot of money out there in Arkansas and the Midwest and all those places. Yeah, I think down there south border they do just as good. Yeah. So anyhow, this form right here, This form right here. Tonight we want to raise, this is our first goal. How many of you know that we've got to have goals in life, and we've got to have goals every time we get together? And we need to raise some money. Coach Theobald came up with a program that we need to get going, and I want you to pull that up, the Huddle program. It's $800. Now, you know what? I could dig in and I could find that money myself. But I'm tired of doing it all myself. I need you guys to get behind me, because if you're not invested in this, then you're not going to get behind the program. And so I need you guys to get behind and invest in helping us knock this thing out. I mean, it's not right that I should have to dig into my piggy bank every time to pay for everything that comes out for this school. I put a lot of time into this school. My wife and I have invested a lot of money into this school, but it's time that our parents start getting actively involved and actively participate in a portion of what our school needs. And $800 isn't a lot of money to pay for something that we need this season. Coach Theobald, let's pull that up and let's look at this program that he needs for this season. Actually, I'm going to tell you, Coach Theobald went out and bought the camera himself. Yeah. Give him a round of applause. He went out and bought the camera himself for this program. I don't know how much that was. What, $400? $400 out of his pocket as a teacher and a coach to pay for this, to help get this program going. We need to match that and make that up. For $800, we need to get this Huddle program. Let's see what it looks like. Come on up, Coach, and talk about it a little bit. This is a Huddle program. It's we're going to go through a PowerPoint. Is there a video to it? Can't find a video?
There's this little video. So we'll just watch this video. It'll inform you. It's a helpful video. Huddle is basically a program that helps break down game film. It can be used for football, but it also be used for other sports as well. So it's very, beneficial to both soccer. We have volleyball, basketball. It'll help out, really everyone in our high school and our middle school continue to grow. This is a coach out in Nebraska, a very successful 8-man football coach, and what he does is he uses Huddle to help his players improve and understand the game, as well as helps them get it recruited. Basically, it takes the game film, breaks it down, and then you're able to take clips and everything, so it's very manageable very easily. So we'll just watch the clip, and then I'll get a little into it.
And, we didn't, it was just breaking it into offense, defense, and special teams, just so we could look at stuff together and save some time that way. I would still do all the scouting of the opponent offense, and everybody else would do their part too. Broke down. We'll make our own playlist that we share by formation. So this would be the flanker set, or what we would call flanker set. And then we'll get the I set and some of the others, and we can share those with the players. And we'll also make a film of all those together. So like right here, this would have been all the formations grouped together so we could watch them as a team before practice. Just so everybody was on the same page of what they were running right before we went out. By Saturday morning, hopefully. A lot of times we don't get film till noon or so on a Saturday, and then it's a lot better now than in the past. I can put the game in, let it upload, and I can still watch a little college football now instead of in the past where I really didn't get to. So. Use it quite a bit. The other coaches on staff will help out some on the weekends, depending on what they're doing. We got a lot of coaches that are farmers or whatever, and so they don't always have time. On Monday, what formations we're going to see and what plays we're going to see. As far as reports go, actually, I think you guys added this one halfway through the season with the play cards.
Can you fast forward a little bit on that? Can you almost catch it to the end so we can get the end of it?
The ones watching it, but they'll have that film. I'll share it to them.
Yeah, hold
cut
on
up
a
of
second.
plays.
Let me get a mic over here.
I can give, as it's related to recruiting, I'll give you a little 2 cents piece as far as why you want to invest in this. One, it's going to make your coach's job a lot easier because when you're getting ready to scout the
Yeah,
team that you're
I know you won't blow the speakers. I promise.
when you're getting ready to how about now? When you're when the coaches are getting ready to play the next game, they get an opportunity to share film. So this is something where instead of driving a DVD or driving a game or talking about a game to the next coach who happens to be 200 miles away, they can actually just share video through Huddle. This is what the country is moving to. Huddle is one of the biggest things all over the country that are doing it. Why it's important for recruiting is because your kids will be able to get their own account and will be able to go in and pull their plays off so that they can start putting their videos together. Now you want to send that to a college coach. You're going to put your highlight video together, but coaches know these are just your highlights, okay? And you put them in there. But if a coach is interested in you, he's going to want to see a full game film. Well, a lot of these college coaches out there are starting to get their own accounts to Huddle, so all they have to do is go to Harvest Prep Academy and pick a random game film without having to do a whole lot of anything because it's already there. So that's one of the investments. Back in our day when we had our film, mine was 35 millimeter, and my friends were beating me up when I'd send them to a coach because you couldn't make copies of those. You had to get them back. So video, this is where we're at. Don't ever send a DVD to a coach that's going to be sitting. You need to get your video digitally if the coach asks for a video and you say, Coach, what's your email? I'll be able to send it to you right now. Huddle is one of those avenues that's going to help you develop those digitally formatted videos that you can help put together too. Not only that, but to be able to help your team be able to scout the next team and be able to share video with other schools and teams around. So
yeah, and I'll tell you that why this is such an important investment. It's just not football. It's every sport. We got it for soccer. We've got it for baseball. It's baseball too, right? Is it baseball? Yeah. I mean, all sports. So you want to invest in this as part of our community so we can get this, our professional learning community, so we can get this going. I will tell you that you don't want to wait till your kids are in high school. Coach L took our middle school football team from one of the lowest performing. We play all of our private schools. He took them from one of our lowest performing in the city to city championships. City, yeah. Give him a round of applause, yeah. And talk a little bit about that real quick, because you want to get kids ready at 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
That's where the building blocks start, especially here. I mean, once you get to 6th, 7th, and 8th, that's where you can start playing middle school sports. And what I did last year, which I think was different from years previous, is I took Coach Baker, previous coach, I took his playbook and I improvised it a little bit, but basically had the same play. So I'm running high school plays against other middle schools. I mean, probably not the most fair thing ever, but I thought I was thinking ahead. So, but that's going to be the plan this year. We'll have a new middle school head coach, and he'll get with Coach T, and they're going to use the playbook. And they're going to improvise off the playbook. And starting at that level, knowing that playbook and getting ahead of the game, I mean, it can happen in other sports too. It doesn't have to be football. It can be soccer. It can be volleyball. It can be basketball. Definitely basketball with the plays. Volleyball with the plays. So.
Yeah, we also had a couple of teachers also interested in teaching swimming. We're looking to get involved in AI swimming, also the golf component, things like that, in tennis. So we're looking at some other sports as well. So we're just not limited to football. Right now, our football program is what we started on, but we're looking at other sports to come this new year.
Dr. Barr, can I say one thing?
Yes, sir. Paul, thank you very much. I tell you what, those 2 grants, I know those grants are worth at least $1,200. I think it's around 12 to 15. Yeah, it's not just 1,000. It's like almost, I mean, the grants that they're going to give. So parents, you need to invest in this tonight. Please at least give something towards what we're trying to get our fundraising efforts going. And it doesn't start until you give something. I know every dollar counts, even if it's $1. It counts. So also we have some field banners and things like this. You want to talk about that, about the field banners and spot parent newsletter, things like that?
We need to wrap it up. We're going to we'll wrap it up with this. We have the opportunity, if you have a company that you work for or that you know that works, we had an attorney offer that doesn't even know us offer to sponsor our 8th grade trip this year. So if you know people in the community, this is a wonderful opportunity. You know, you may say, well, the school's 1,300 students, but you know, potentially with all the family members that we touch, there's over 10,000 lives that we touch every day. And that's an honor for Dr. Barron and I. And so your marketing will do the same thing. So if you want to put a field banner up, it might just be your family. That's $250. That'll go to all the high school home games on soccer and football. You can have a spot on the parent newsletter business card size for $250 for the entire year for your business. We'll print it on every newsletter. I believe that goes out bi-monthly, if I'm not mistaken. And then on the bulletins and the game and all the programs that we do for the school when we pass out a program for every event, graduations, everything that we do, you'll get for $250 on another business card advertisement on every program. That's another $250 a year. And on the school bus, somebody asked me to market on the buses. What an idea, 12 buses bussing around town all day long, twice a day. So if you'd like to do that, that's actually $500 a year for a 2x2 magnet. And then for all of them, if you want to do everything for a company or you have a company that might be interested, some of the growers, that's $1,000 a year for everything. And that'll reach all of our people. It'll go on our internet advertising. It'll go on everything that we do. So we hope that you'll consider that. But tonight, your donation, just whatever you can give, whoever you may know who can give, we would appreciate that tonight to help Coach T and all the other coaches with this huddle program. We appreciate it so very much. Thank you.
Yeah. So with that, I want to tell you, I'm so thankful for my wife coming alongside of me. I've been trying to plow this ground for a long time by myself. So give her a round of applause, please. I tell you, honey, thank you so much. Appreciate that. She's quite a businesswoman, as you know. She runs she's the executive director, and we do a great job in this city. See Nancy at the back for your donations. Please make sure that you get every one of those orange commitment forms. If you raise those up, sir, Mr. Putnam, please, again, this is a big deal. Get your kids involved in this now. Oh, and we do have a Q&A period. I know we've gone a little over. We have refreshments in the back. As you notice, we're doing some construction out front to try to put in a better entryway for you. We have refreshments out there. Is there any questions for either Mr. Putnam, Sean Salisbury, myself? Does anybody have any questions at all right now? This is a great opportunity. What do you have back there? Booster Club commitments back there? Okay, what do we have back there? Would you come and get a mic? Let's get a mic. One of the guys, would you take a mic to her, please? Come on up and meet us halfway now.
And the commitment forms go there. Every parent must
right here, right there.
I was just wondering, the camp out that the school's having to help out the community, is that gonna cost anything for our kids?
The camp.
No.
That 5-day sleepover, I think she's talking about.
5-day sleepover. No. Free of charge. Yes, ma'am. Right over here. Hurry. I know, but the rest of the team, the rest of the community can't hear you. Right there.
Okay, like 2 weeks ago, we were talking about with a recruiter, and the first thing that they asked Armando, it was about the
SAT.
Yes, and they told us once that we get that test, we can call them back. So how is that important? And